I'm like, whoa, when he went 1-1, and it was probably a pass. So it's pretty interesting how that guy saw something he didn't particularly care for.
Right.
Dylan Moore, Timmy, we talked about him on Friday as getting a chance to play with Ty France out.
Yeah, I think we're looking, excuse me, I think we're looking at an increase in playing time for Dylan Moore right now. I don't know what the Mariners are going to do longer term with that situation because Ty France could be out for a while. It's a grade 2 flexor strain. That generally means a while. I think if you've got or you're feeling the need for speed, I think Moore can give you some stolen bases.
He was pretty good a couple of years ago, Timmy.
Yeah, he's got 10 so far this year in 91 at bats. Odds are pretty good that number is going to increase substantially, possibly over the next couple months. So if you need some speed, give Dylan Moore a look.
Isaac Paredes, Timmy, with the Tampa Bay Rays, second base, third base. I don't trust anybody. I'm getting like you in the Tampa Bay Rays organization.
Well, yeah, if 10 homers this year and 95 at bats, five homers in his past 3 games, 3 homers against the Yankees on Tuesday. Yeah, he's bought himself some playing time. How much? I think the last I looked, I think he was 3 for 3 today. He's probably bought himself at least a week and a half, but who knows in Tampa Bay what's going to happen? You really don't. The only observation I had, are the Tigers regretting the trade for Austin Meadows and a pick at the beginning of April? And I would have to say maybe they are right now.
I'm not sure I would trade with the Tampa Bay Rays very much. You're probably going to get taken. So,
yeah, I was going to say it's probably not a good situation. No.
I'm hearing, and I have no inside information on it, but I'm hearing AJ Hinch wants out of Detroit. I'm hearing that Alavila's on the chopping block. I'm hearing bad stuff going on in Detroit. The ownership is not happy with where all that is going.
Well, it's a tough situation. I still think the Tigers can be a very, very good baseball team. But this year, they've just had nothing but problems as far as health is concerned, and they're young pitchers. You can't lose Mize. You can't lose Manning. Erod was out, and I don't know where Erod is now. There's definitely something running amok in Detroit, and I still think they have a good young core. And I think they have the potential to be a very good team, but maybe we were all just a little bit early on our estimations of when that was going to start.
I think a lot of times you see teams, Timmy, have that pop-up year, then they fall back, they regress a little bit before they start their march. I totally agree with you on the pitching. Look, it is what it is. I mean, it's bad injuries, but the hitting, they're terrible, Timmy. That team cannot score runs.
Well, no, and at least from our perspective as fantasy players, at least Javi Bias has finally shown up. It took him 2+ months, but he's been playing well as of late, so that definitely has to buoy our spirits a little bit. But yeah, offensively, they've been offensive this year.
Yeah, I mean the Jonathan Scope hasn't worked out. The re-signing of him, Javi Bias hasn't worked out well. I mean, obviously the promotion of Torco, nothing has worked. Nothing.
Robbie Grossman coming off a 2020 season is lucky to get to 5.5, maybe.
Yeah,
it's been a bad year, but definitely it's going to be a very, very interesting team to follow over the next couple of months, especially if some of the rumors that you're hearing come to fruition.
Yeah. It's a tough situation, and they're stuck playing Miguel Cabrera, who appears to be a wonderful human being, Timmy.
Yes.
So and I'm sure he's a great teammate and all that, but he's not a full-time major leaguer anymore, and it's unfortunate, but he's going to play because nobody is pushing him out of his job, and that's sad.
Well, again, there's an easy way to solve that problem: cut him a check and walk away. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen in Detroit, is it?
No, because I think that would be tough, right? Because he is so beloved in Detroit by teammates and by fans. Mm-hmm. And if you stack rank all those players, he's not at the bottom of the list. So
no, he isn't.
Like Albert Pujols is. And it's like,
Yes.
yeah, he definitely needs to go because that's a good team and he's at the bottom of the list. But Miguel Cabrera, based on how everybody's performing, is not.
No, and I had there's a question on the Facebook page with regards to Yepes and his long-term future. Okay, and one of the comments that I made is that I think he's got his control of the strike zone is decent. We've seen some power, and I think next year will be a good year and a tick upwards because he doesn't have to compete with Albert Pujols for at bats, does he? And that counts. Hey, Yepes will be in the lineup every day of the week, and I think that bodes well for him. Whereas this year he's got to deal with the roadshow, right?
I think that teams that do not give guys consistent playing time, it's the organization's fault. You got to give these guys a chance to make it. I don't agree with what Boston is doing with Franchi Cordero and Dahlbeck. Give Dahlbeck 3 months of solid playing and see what he can do. And if he can't do it, then you move on. And
That's
particularly
right.
if you're rebuilding, you got to let these guys play. And then if they can't do it, then you say, look, we gave you the chance and it just didn't happen. And you make a move.
Like Kansas City.
Yeah.
Eddie Olivares deserves to play full-time for the next month.
That's right.
Each and every single day. At the end of a month, if he's batting 175 with 1 homer and 2 stolen bases, you know what you got. He's had his shot. Then you move on.
Josh H. Smith. Timmy, why'd you put the H in there?
Because the site had him listed as that. Probably because there's 16 other Josh Smiths or
There
Jay
could be.
Smiths. Yeah, I was sort of a little disappointed in the Rangers. I thought they were going to give Ezekiel Duran more of a look. He was hitting well. And then all of a sudden, they gave him a day off. And he didn't hit for a couple of games, and they sent him down. And it looks like they're now going with Josh H. Smith as the placeholder for Josh Young if he can ever stay healthy.
Yeah, well, it's disappointing I agree with you, disappointing about Ezekiel Duran. So, but we just talked about it, Timmy. It happens so much. I mean, how many times did Jaron Duran look like he was maybe starting to hit a little bit, then off he goes? Yeah,
and, Duran didn't have, I don't believe he had any experience at AAA, so it probably doesn't hurt to send him down. Smith, on the other hand, a little pop, a little speed, and most importantly, an opportunity to play every day.
Tyrone Taylor, Timmy, I have him rostered in one league, and I keep looking down. He hits a home run here or a couple singles there. Yeah. He's not an all-star, not a great impact player, but he's not bad.
Well, no, and in the past week he had 3 homers, drove in 7 runs.
Yeah.
You toss in the injury to Hunter. It guarantees playing time for Mr. Taylor, and hey, if you can get a couple of those hot weeks out of him and steady play in between, that makes for a nice ad.
Keegan Thompson, Timmy, as opposed to Keegan Aiken, you brought him up as your pickup of the week on Friday.
Yeah, I wasn't all that bullish, but he's proved me wrong. He's currently sporting a 3.10 ERA, 7 wins, and he's heading into a 2-start week against Seattle and Minnesota. It's time to find a home for the kid and hope for the best.
Last guy is Tyler Wells, starting pitcher with the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, I was sort of surprised that he's currently looking at a 3.34 ERA on the season, and he's only rostered in 26% of the leagues at CBS. He's got Cincinnati and Boston this week. I think it's time to take advantage of the fact that he's pitching well, and he's got a 2-start week. So, hey, I think you could do far worse than Tyler Wells moving forward.
The way it looked on Friday, Timmy, you didn't have much of a list. I think this is a great list. I mean, there are names here to pick up. There's a couple of, Corbin Carrolls of the world out there that, you're taking up potentially a flyer on. But some guys that actually help if you lost to Mookie Betts, if you lost to Bryce Harper. There's some names out there that people can pick up. I mean, Tyrone Taylor will never be Bryce Harper. He'll never be Mookie Betts, but he might hit you 10 home runs the second half.
10 home runs? Yeah,
yes.
I can go with that.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, and you know what? He's no Bryce Harper. But there are no Bryce Harpers other than Bryce Harper. You just got to take the best you can, and if that's the best you can do, again, it's better than coming up with big fat zeros in the home run category week after week after week.
Before we take a break, Tim, I just want to just just one more time on Bryce Harper. If you got burned by Bryce, you heard me last week. I bore my soul, everyone. I've been playing this game a long time. I'm a good player, not a great player, probably like you that are listening to the show. And it's so frustrating when you lose your big guys. Timmy, I lost Machado last week, and you just question, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? It sucks. You should feel that way, and then get back at it. That's all you can really do. I mean, it's just it blows.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was up a week and a half ago. I was in 6th spot in the 20 team. Okay. I am now in 14th, I believe. I have Manny Machado on my team.
Yeah.
If all it takes, and Jose Barrios. It does not take
you have
much.
Jose Barrios on
Oh,
your team?
yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah. And you know what you can do about that? Not a whole lot, except grin and bear it, and occasionally rant if you've got access to a podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, it start a podcast and then you be able to rant on us. But look, it happens to everybody, and hopefully we've given you some names. But Bryce Harper II is not on there. Manny Machado II is not. You just got to do the best you can, and sometimes, Tim, playing the hot hand works. You put a guy in there if he has a good week and then a bad week, drop him and bring somebody else in.
Yeah, it's a lot better than doing nothing, because we know what the results of that are.
Yep. And then prayer, Tim. Go to church and pray to the fantasy gods that Bryce Harper. Remember when Albert Pujols broke his arm and missed exactly 15 days? Came back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say there should have been some huge envelopes, in the collection plate.
Exactly.
After that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Our prayers were answered. Thank you very much, fantasy gods. Yes.
All right, Timmy, let's take a break. Get back. Let's talk closer report. Got 3 names here, Timmy, of closers to examine. The first is the guy we talked about on Friday, and that is Felix Bautista.
Yeah, I strongly think that the Orioles are going to look at moving Jorge Lopez. Okay, there's teams out there that are in contention that need and could use an extra arm, and I think Lopez might be the answer. I'm looking at Bautista as having an amazing season. 2 saves, 9 holds, 1.52 ERA. I think it's a solid insurance policy in the event that Jorge Lopez is moved. So I would recommend getting in a little bit early as compared to a little bit potentially late.
Excellent advice. And if Jorge Lopez gets traded, Timmy, the likelihood of him getting saves is low.
I would say yes. Very much so.
He's going to get traded to a contender that's already got a Kenley Jansen or somebody like that. So,
yeah, maybe they'll trade him to the White Sox.
Yeah, I was thinking Liam Hendricks, but the White Sox aren't contending, Timmy. So,
yeah, that's why I was sort of holding back on that one. Yeah.
The next guy is Tanner Rainey.
Yeah, he's been the closer right at the get-go, and he's had an okay year. But he's only rostered to the tune of 33% at CBS. So while we're all out there chasing the next closer and waiting, there's a closer that's already available that's going to get you some saves. I don't think he's looking over his shoulder at anybody. So I just found it very surprising when going through this that Rainey was rostered in so few leagues, only 12% at ESPN. Yeah, a save is a save is a save. Take it, right?
Speaking of a save is a save is a save, it's sometimes better to be lucky than good. I started Lou Trevino in a league. Timmy got a save yesterday.
Were you in like 17th spot in a 15-team league?
I'm in second place. I had Danny Jimenez. I had Danny Jimenez, and I lost Danny Jimenez, and I looked on the waiver wire, didn't see any other middle relievers that I wanted. I said, I'm starting. Let's see what happens with Lou Trevino. And I know you were recommending AJ Puck, and I went the contrarian route and got lucky.
Well, and good for you. Puck had an opportunity, walked 2 guys, and took a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not real good for AJ Puck. And, yesterday, Trevino ended up with a 6-0.
Trevino, Tim. We've been yelled at by too many people. It's Trevino.
Oh,